I used a bunch of plates in different sizes to determine the size of my hat. I like the one with 8.5-inch diameter. And then I measured the widest part of my head for the hat circumference and added some wearing ease. I usually add about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ease to the measurement. I traced the shape of my plate because it was the exact size I wanted, but if you don't own a plate that works for you, you can simply draw a circle. My plate method is only to visualize the finished hat. It's a good starting point. I need the circumference of the plate or the top of the hat. You can use math to get that, but I prefer measuring. I made a small mark with the washable pen for the starting point. I cut out the circle and folded in half twice to get center front, center back, and middle points of both sides. It's important to mark these points when cutting out your fabric in order to make it easier to put the hat together later. Draw 2 guidelines, one perpendicular to the other. Measure up 1 inch and make a marking. Divide your hat circumference, which is your head measurement, with ease. Divide that number by 4. My hat circumference is 23 inches, divided by 4 is 5 3/4. Now find that measurement on your straight ruler and place that measurement at the 1 inch mark. And let the other end land on the horizontal guideline and draw a line. Measure up 1/4 inch. Square out from the 1 inch marking and connect these points to draw a smooth curve. Measure up 2.5 inches from the 1 inch mark. This is how tall your hat crown is. You can change this number depending on your preference. Measure 2.5 inches from the curved line like this and connect the dots to draw a curved line. This longer curved line is the edge that connects to the top of the hat. So this measurement should be 1/4 of the circumference of your plate, aka the top of your hat. The circumference of my plate is about 27 inches, divided by 4 is 6 3/4. So this curved line should be 6 3/4. You can measure the curved line by walking the measuring tape. This came out to be exactly 6 3/4, which is the exact measurement I needed. But in case yours did not come out to be the exact measurement you need, here is how you can fix it. Make a cut in the middle like this, close to the shorter curved line, but not completely cutting through it. Now you can add some length by opening the gap or take out some length by overlapping the two sides. Then redraw the curved lines. To draft the brim pattern, I use my hat base pattern, which is a pattern for the cross section of my head, or how your head looks like from directly above. How you can draft your own hat base pattern is explained in my other hat video. I marked where I want my brim to start on my base pattern, then carefully placed it on my guidelines and traced the front shape. I measured 2 inches from the cross-section of the curved line and the vertical guideline. This is the biggest part of the brim in front. You can design your own brim and change this number. Measure 1.5 inches from the cross-section of the curved line and horizontal guideline. And draw yet another guideline like this. This controls how close the brim is to your face. Make a mark on the new guideline so that the length from the top of the arc is about the same as the other curved line. I know this explanation is a bit confusing, but I hope you can follow what I'm doing in the video. In case you want to skip making base pattern and move on with the hat making, here is the dimension. I wanted to show you my process so you understand the hat drafting better. Here are all my patterns. Thick lines in the background are 1 inch apart, and thin lines in between mark 1/2 inches. I used my scrap fabric to make a mock-up in order to test out my patterns. To my surprise, the mock-up came out to be exactly how I wanted my hat to look. This hardly ever happens, and I usually make more than a couple of mock-ups to finalize my patterns. I was super happy to move on to my real fabric. While I was in the kitchen, I dip-dyed my decorative rope in black tea. I decided to make this project using just what I have in my stash, and the only trim I liked from my stash did not match exactly with my fabric. So I decided to tone it down with some tea bath.
YouTube やってんの?
For my real fabric, I use thick cotton canvas. You need 1 top piece. And don't forget to transfer those 4 markings. Cut out 2 of the crown side pieces on fold. For the brim, I cut 2 pieces from the fabric and 2 pieces without seam allowances from thick fusible interfacing. I didn't talk about the band pattern, but the band is just a long rectangle of 1 inch by your hat circumference. I cut out 1 piece from the fabric and 1 piece without seam allowances from the interfacing. Thank you, Miriam.